ruminate too much on the past, but I ruminate a fuckload on the future. And because of that, like, I don't live in the present as much. I'm constantly living 5 years ahead and I'm missing out on what's happening actually right now. Bitch, wake up. Like, live in your present moment. This is a beautiful space to live in. It's not going to last forever. So I am doing that right now of trying to like just remember that and be super present. And I think I've been doing a really good job of it. I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but that's where we landed. Guess what I didn't do? Clean. I actually just got, Margo Lee sent me her journal, no particular order. I'm just obsessed with the overall concept of it, that you can kind of just work through this in no particular order, and the prompts are so fun. I love that there's like space for you to draw and doodle, and they're just like not always that deep. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're fun. So yeah, I've just been working my way through this. I really recommend this journal. Okay, I got enough food so that I would only have to Postmate food once today. So I got lunch and dinner because I haven't grocery shopped. I ordered from Maro's gluten-free bolognese. We're gonna eat that for dinner, I think. And then for right now, I ordered just a chicken paillard with veg, some sauteed spinach, some parm for later. And if I don't eat this today, I'll eat this tomorrow. Just taking a little bit. Funny that this week is so packed, because when I tell you guys that last week was one of the hardest weeks I've had in a really long time, I'm not being dramatic. Last week was just rough. There was a lot of doubt streaming in. There was a lot of self-doubt, really, that was just coming up. And I was just feeling really stuck when it came to specifically my career. I know where I'm going. I know what the end goal is. I know what it is that I want. I understand my why. I understand the sort of through line of everything I do. So like, I know the direction that I'm heading in, and I know that that is so valuable and important to understand. And don't get me wrong, like, the why has kind of always remained similar, but like the clarity around it has not always been this clear. And it took a lot of work of me being really brutally honest with myself about what it is that I want versus what it is that somebody else wants versus what it was that I wanted at a younger age, that I thought that that's like what people were gonna find like cool or whatever. And by the way, I just bought this Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint and I'm really into it. It's so light and perfect for my everyday. I mix it still with some of that espresso, like dewy latte situation. That's kind of like a moisturizer, just to water it down even more. Not that it needs to be completely watered down. Oh, I forgot to contour. I've been really into underpainting, but you know, we will prevail. I lost my train of thought, but my point is that it's taken me a while to get such immense clarity around being able to have like almost an elevator pitch of what I want my career to look like, because I'm a very visual, emotional manifester. And so I've always had for a very long time a very clear picture in my head of what it looks like. And I have like very specific visions in my head, but it did take me a while to be able to verbalize it. But yeah, last week was just fucking rough. So the point of why I brought this all up was because it's funny that when you have such intense weeks of self-doubt, or days, or however long it is, that then the week following or soon after, like, you start to see that light peek out from all of that darkness that's been created. And it is so funny just how the universe works. By the way, this is Rare Beauty blush that I just got, and it's nearly rose as the color. I'm really into this. It's really pigmented. And what I like about it, by the way, is that it's not as dewy as my other blushes. It has like a little bit more of a powdery finish without being super powdery, which I like particularly for filming, so that I'm not like a grease ball. I'm being really strategic. I'm being very organized, which really helps appease my brain. Yeah, so I definitely just feel like I am ready to tackle whatever is gonna come my way. As I say that, a rush of anxiety goes through my body, but that's fine. We're recording 2 solos and an episode for our Patreon. If you guys don't know, we have a Thoughts May Vary Patreon page where we upload exclusive episodes like the one that we're gonna be recording today. A lot of those are like request based, so we'll just ask you guys on Patreon what you want to see. They're much more unhinged, I will say. We also upload vlogs. I'm currently working on our 2nd ever Patreon only vlog, which is exciting. And we also do full moon and new moon prompts that Meadow works so hard on, and they're so good, you guys. They're so good. I use them every time to journal and as like manifestation prompts. Speaking of manifestation, now that we're on a promo kick, if you guys didn't know, Thoughts May Vary, my podcast, we came out with a first ever Thoughts May Vary manifestation journal, which also is very fucking good. It's a downloadable digital journal, so you can go shop for it on our website. I have the link always in the description below to go buy the journal. Whoa, my eye just twitched while I was putting on mascara. That was weird. And you can download it. It sends you like a PDF of it with a Spotify playlist, by the way, that's really good. And you can either write directly into the PDF, you can print it out and write in it like an actual journal. You can copy the prompts into your real journal. You can print it out and staple into your journal. Do whatever your heart desires. That was the point of the manifestation journal. Oh my God. Okay. When I am super anxious, and especially when it's, I mean, this applies to any area of life, but I'm just gonna apply it to work stuff because that has been what has really been kind of eating me up lately. A great way for me to calm down is to give myself actionable steps, because I'm the type of person that needs to get everything out of my brain onto either a piece of paper or notes. Like, I just need to see it out in front of me. I'm a very visual person in that way. I will caveat this by saying that this is helpful for me once I am already in a place where I have felt whatever it is that needs to be felt. Last week was a week where I quite literally stewed. I didn't want to talk about it because I felt like I knew what they were gonna say, like I knew what the solutions were. I didn't want solutions. I wanted to sit and stew and be cranky and be in a bad mood and feel overwhelmed and feel anxious and be like, oh my God, I have so much going on. Like, I wanted to feel all of that, which is fine because I needed to move through it. I reminded myself that it's not a waste of time because I went through that phase of like, oh my God, you're just sitting here doing nothing and all you're doing is wasting time and you're not acting. But like, it wasn't a waste of time because, as my boyfriend very calmly reminded me, how do you expect to get anything done at the rate, capacity, or quality that you would like for it to get done when you're operating like this? I sat with my feelings, I did what I needed to do, and then I made a plan. At the end of the day, there are so many things that are out of our control. I say this all the time, who are we to think that we can outthink life? So we might as well do our part of surrendering and then also co-creating at the same time. So understanding that what is meant for us will be, the universe will open up other avenues. Meadow and I recently had a conversation we talked about on the podcast about how there's like no wrong choices. And of course, this is excluding when you're harming somebody else, violence, abuse, like all of those other things, we're removing that. But like, there really isn't a right or wrong choice. You made the choice. So what's the point in sitting here stewing on it and stewing in it? Stewing in it, on it, whatever. You're only gonna learn from it, and the universe is gonna adjust. It's gonna course correct for you. And it's gonna say, okay, they made this choice with their free will. Now let's move over here because this is where the choice is, and now let's take them down this possibility and this lane that was also a possibility and meant for them. Because there's so many, there's not one thing that is meant for us. That's where co-creating comes in. That's where our free will comes in, is we get to make those choices. And I think that while that for people like me, that can feel very stressful because I can get very attached to a story. I can get very attached to something a psychic said or an idea that I have of myself for my future. And I get so attached to that story and so attached to that future that course correcting when I have to and pivoting when I have to becomes so overwhelming because it's no longer about the present moment, it's about that future moment. But yeah, it is the end of the day. But I was gonna go to an event today, and quite literally everyone that I invited couldn't go. And then I was like, you know what? I frankly don't have it in me to navigate a social situation by myself today. And then so much guilt started going around that of like, this is a cool opportunity, like you should go, you should network, you don't know when you're ever gonna be in the same room as these specific people ever again. But you know what? I am, speaking of no wrong choices, I am making the choice to stay in. You wanna know why? Because I have something every single night this week. I just don't wanna do it. I just don't wanna do it, so I'm not gonna. And I'm just telling myself, for the sake of telling myself, that if I am meant to be in a room with these specific people again, that opportunity will present itself to me in a more clear way. And I'm gonna order dinner. I think I'm gonna have Thai food, and I'm gonna watch Ted Lasso, and I'm gonna call it a fucking day. Thanks for watching today's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoy filming these, I will say. Sometimes I get like bogged down and stressed about it, and then I'm like, why? You're doing this for fun. Like, you're doing this as another way to storytell. Like, it's not that deep, relax. So I'm trying to have that attitude with it, but I really appreciate every single one of you being here. I know there are so many people on the internet, like so many people on the internet who are all great and entertaining and each have their own spark. That is not lost on me. I am very grateful that you have clicked on today's video and watched it. And if you have subscribed, that you have subscribed. Thank you so much. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ciao.